Hello, my name is Peter Andrews and I'm an investment analyst here at True Potential. Last week the British government published its plan to enable the UK to leave the EU. Whether this new plan represents the key to finally unlocking the UK's withdrawal remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that the Prime Minister faces a difficult balancing act in attempting to get any proposed plan approved, with various factions demanding different outcomes from any deal. On one side, he faces a European Union which has been publicly steadfast in its opposition to change any aspect of Theresa May's withdrawal agreement. On the other, he faces an unruly Parliament which has rejected every possible version of Brexit thus far. Moreover, his own party is still very divided on Brexit. Adding further pressure is the Ben Act, branded the Surrender Act by the Prime Minister. The terms mandate the Prime Minister must seek an extension from the EU if a deal cannot be struck before the 19th of October. The main sticking point in the negotiations has been the status of Northern Ireland and the functioning of its border with the Republic of Ireland. Aside from the technical implications, a hard border on the island of Ireland has been characterised by some as a destabilising force which would undermine the terms of the Good Friday Agreement. A border would also have implications for the Republic of Ireland and its trading relationships with the rest of the EU and the UK. The document released last Wednesday offers solutions for this problem, which the UK government hopes will satisfy all the parties involved. So what does it outline? Firstly, the proposal deals with regulatory issues. The draft document proposes that Northern Ireland will remain within the European single market for all manufactured and agricultural goods, whilst the rest of the UK leaves, essentially creating a single regulatory zone on the island of Ireland. This part of the proposed agreement is intended to avoid the need for lengthy regulatory checks on the border and to keep goods trades flowing. However, this means that goods flowing from the UK to Northern Ireland will be subject to checks to ensure they meet the requirements of the single market. Secondly, the document proposes that Northern Ireland will leave the EU customs union with the rest of the UK once the transition period has expired in 2021. Northern Ireland would then become a part of the new UK customs territory. This means Northern Ireland will become a party to any new trade deal signed by the UK and will be subject to any new tariff arrangements agreed between the UK and any other country. Removing Northern Ireland from the EU's customs union will require customs checks on all goods passing between Northern Ireland and the Republic to determine any tariff rate and any goods country of origin. However, the proposal envisages that customs checks need not happen at fixed points along the border. Rather, it has proposed simplified declaration methods and new technologies would reduce the need for lengthy inspections at border crossing points, with declarations being made before goods leave their port of origin. Finally, the proposal indicates that Northern Ireland's devolved assembly must give their consent for Northern Ireland's membership of the regulatory zone to continue, with a vote being held every 4 years. If the assembly decides to leave, then the arrangements will not apply after a period of 1 year. The reaction from the EU has so far been characterised by caution, but the plans for a single regulatory zone on the island of Ireland are likely to be welcomed. Conversely, early signs indicate that the main impediment to the plan's wholesale acceptance are the proposed customs checks on goods moving between Northern Ireland and the Republic. The EU and Irish government are likely to view any customs checks as inconsistent with the maintenance of a free-flowing all-island economy. However, it is important to consider the relative values of the trade flows between each territory. For instance, the value of cross-border trade in goods between Northern Ireland and the Republic was calculated to be £5.4 billion in 2018. This amounts to less than 1% of the total value of trade between the UK and the EU, which is around £650 billion. Likewise, the value of trade in goods between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK amounted to over £18 billion, around 3.5 times the value of trade between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. At least in raw economic terms, the question of the Irish border's functioning should not be the main consideration. If any agreement can be reached based on these proposals, efforts could quickly turn to the future trading relationship between the UK and the EU, creating some much needed certainty for businesses and consumers across all of Europe. Thanks for watching.